Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending the session. My name is Rudy Moino. I'm an IT Infrastructure Manager in SUSE, and I have a pleasure to be here represent the SUSE team. Thank you, Susan, for inviting us to share our experience with SUSE products. And today I try show how SUSE efficiently managed thousands of SUSE Linux servers with automation and security compliance. First of all, I'd like to introduce you a little about SUSE. SUSE is one of the largest credit union systems in Brazil. We have more than 80.5 million members present all over in Brazil. Our purpose is connecting people to promoting financial justice and prosperity. In your journal, SUSE has helped many cities and families to develop through local investments, supporting to business sector, and promoting financial justice. More than a financial choice, SUSE offers many services like a traditional bank, instant payment, saving a checking account, credit lines, investments, many other services. But the SUSE service with a special condition that only cooperative can afford include an important part. In SUSE, you are not a simple customer. You are a member. You are the owner. We participate on the credit union's decisions. And the last of the year, part of the profit, we return with you. It's real difference in traditional banks. Well, some numbers about the SUSE. We are a group of 329 credit unions spread across more 2,400 seats in Brazil. And none of them, about 400 seats, SUSE is the only financial system. We are proud to help this place and people to develop. Today, SUSE is the largest service network in Brazil. We have almost 5,000 branches in all of the states of Brazil. But SUSE is also digital service oriented. And last year, we processed more than 20 billion business transactions, 97% in digital services. More of day in our mobile apps. These numbers is constantly increasing, and technology is played an important role to SUSE's operations. And SUSE helped us, especially in Linux ecosystems. Some numbers about our environments. We have more 5 FLs and 16 terabytes of memory in mainframe platform. We don't use ZOS virtualization because you use the Linux one and use ZVM virtualization. The SUSE is on the largest Linux one members in world. Based on Intel, we have almost 5,000 cores and more than 100 terabytes of memories and use Fujitsu, Dell, and Bull server solutions. In this environment, both mainframe and Intel, we have more than 5,000 servers, and which around 3,000 were Linux servers, and supporting databases, application servers, and other solutions. The infrastructure operating in 2 separated data centers with geographically in conscience we have every a year, 1 or 2 are rigorous audits. We have over 19 petabytes of storage and backups, and we have a robust network and software infrastructure. And recently, with migration, on our analytical environment to cloud, and have another solutions in the cloud, and the cloud is increasing year to year in SICOB. So, over time, until this infrastructure was set up, we faced some challenges, especially in Linux environments. When we had around 400 Linux instances, a long time ago, we saw faced important challenges. Difficulty with integration, compliance and security risks, scalability in SUSE, lack of automation, life cycle of operation system, lack of a configuration manager database, service monitoring, backup policy, and challenges of growth of the environment. Let's see more details. We had difficulty integration, different hards, different operation systems, and different versions. We had problems to creating pipelines to integration the environments, and we had problems to train the team because at heterogeneous environments, you have many solutions, many peoples, many standards. Compliance and security risk. We had the time to meet regulatory requirements and maintain consistent configurations. We often took in the measures that didn't cover the entire environment. So we had frequently rework a lot. Scalability in SUSE, growth in business demands require a more robust infrastructure. We had problems to deliver environments, especially in situation to seasonal use, like Christmas days. Okay. Lack of automation. We used manual process to create environments, apply patches, and updates in general. We had problems to deliver on time the environments. It's very difficult for us, it was very difficult for us to control the life cycle of operation system. It never deliver the maintain updates systems in deal deadline. Lack of configuration managed database. We had several data sources to control IT ascents, but they're not integrated. And keep it to update, it was a challenge. We had a very basic monitoring. Use log files and manual dashboards. It not correlating dates. It was really black box. Backup policy. We had problems applying backup policy. With the heterogeneous environments, it was necessary to create many custom configurations. It's increasing the probability of errors and increasing of probability to operational custom with implementation, license, monitoring, and other issues. And risk of amplifying these problems was the environment growth. So, to help us, we have grouped the problems in areas of activities to help us to address the solutions. Equip compliance, cover baseline, security paths and hardening, management lifecycle, configuration management, compatibility metrics, scalability with automation, cybersecurity and data protection, and update or discontinuation legacy system. So, how to solve these problems? Based on two groups of the actives, the IO actives, and to help them for SUSE solutions, we address the challenges with the 4 pillars: requirements, redefinitions, set standards, focus on automation, and continuous improvement cycle. These pillars will help us to create the action plans for resolve the problems. The first pillar and the requirements redefinitions, we define 5 requirements: compatibility, security, baseline, fast delivery, and governance. That's more details. About compatibility, to help you or the creating the solutions, we define adopting standards, integration between legacy and emerging technology, ensure the use and support versions, build automation solutions that integration on-premise and also in connection to cloud. About security, you define adopting security mechanisms in our pipelines to provide environments or another pipelines, ensuring an efficient update cycle of apply security paths, and adopt strict access and change of controls. About baseline, integration and change and configuration management guidelines, ensure of environment monitoring, keep capacity plan up to date, and use baseline to help us to recover environments in case of disasters. About fast delivery, using automation to acceleration the deployment paths, creating pipelines to deliver environments more efficiently, monitor pipelines to help us performance and the troubleshoots. The last requirements, we define centralization control through policy and automations, adopting industry standards, and implementation a continuous improvement cycle. So the next pillar was set standards. It's the important pillar for us, important step for us, because you have heterogeneous environments. We have like a 4 and 5 distribution, Linux distribution. It's necessary to define the standards. So before spend a long time with tests, improving concepts, and student documentation, we define SUSE Linux Enterprise with the full Linux. The main motivation was because the SUSE Linux helped us with stability and reliability, enterprise and support for many hardwares and architectures and platforms, and management and automation tools. For the definition, the SUSE Linux Enterprise, we define SUSE Manager with the solution will help us to maintain the updates in environments. The main motivation was centralization, server management, support for another Linux distributions is very important for us because it's don't create the one blocks. advanced orchestration and automation capabilities, centralizations package, and security updates management, monitoring reports, and support to large-scale infrastructure management. Important to us, the possible to create a group of systems and message configurations, deployments, and message patches distributions. So, this definition and use SUSE Linux Enterprise and SUSE Manager, we began to process to migration and adapted on our environments. It was spent a long time, long years, and was not easy, but today we have the integration environment, and it's possible to simple implementation process to new business solutions or new technology. This approach supporting the version systems architectures, then monolithic applications to microservice, and it's possible to use DevOps or waterfall deploy standards. The next pillar was focus on automation. Focus on automation is a game changer for us. This example, we have many automations. This example to creating the database servers, but I have to check in SUSE, security in SUSE, and other automations. In this case, you use to creating to database servers. So the pipeline in SUSE was the server will be created using the last version of Linux available. It is not creating gaps to versions in an environment. The Linux already has all the security and the performance standard. For example, in database servers, we have restrictions about CC8, CMB, and TLS. And it's possible to create the database servers with kernel parameters specific to DB2 in the database core in SUSE. Installation for support agents, like security agents, and control license, change logs, and other agents. The pipeline ensures integration with storage, virtualization, and network. It's helping us to use the best practice to deliver disks or network segments and others in SUSE. Update your configuration management database and capacity plan formation and fast delivery of environments. Now, we create a server at few seconds per server and reduce of operation errors and possibility use of request quota. So, integration is the pipeline. We use SUSE Manager to help us to update in an environment. SUSE Manager helps us create of several groups according to profile. Like example, we create a group for database servers and help us in compliance application requirements. For example, in SUSE, we had a specific workload to payment cards. And this workload, we must this PCA DSS certified. And use SUSE Manager to replicate requirements, these workloads, and another workloads. is help us to increasing the security level. We use SUSE Manager to security patch applications and release migrations. The next pillar is continuous improvement cycle. We need the implement continuous improvement cycle to maintain another pillars, another actions. And you use the industry standard and best practice. And since 2029, I think so, we have been the certified ISO, especially to process update servers. So, in short, is the first steps I'm talking about, and identify the main difficulties, and I'm talking about difficult with integration, compliance, and security, and other difficulties to identify we have to resolve. The next steps, we use the difficult group in the main areas of activity to address the solutions. The next steps, use the group areas of activity and define requirements to help us creating guidelines and creating the actions, and creating more than 80 actions to implementation the requirements. And define the technology. Parallel the defining action plans, we define the SUSE Linux Enterprise and SUSE Manager when the standard solutions to help us implementing the actions. I don't have doubts. We SUSE help us to become the more increasing agility to speed of software deployment and updates, enhancing security and compliance, increasing efficiency with reduced IT operation costs, and streamline IT management process. It's speed fast, but it's finished. I hope I have two contributions with Chair and our experience. Thank you, SUSE, once again. Thank you for attention. Thank you very much.